Hello everyone and welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode for the Russian Grand Prix in Season 3. So, heading into this round, we have a big margin in the championship coming off the last round in Italy. So we should be looking good to potentially extend that or just try and maintain it as much as we can. Jenson Button will be looking to fight back after he had a mechanical failure. There's the R&D chart. We continue to lead the way there. But unfortunately, we don't start off very well because I was meant to replace a few of the power unit components before qualifying, and I completely forgot to do it. We'll have enough time to do two, so we will replace the ICE, which wears out a little bit faster than the other components, and we'll also replace the MGU-K, of which we lost one already, so we don't really want to take any risks running a worn out one when we have time to fit a brand new one here. So we're going to replace those two components. We're not going to be taking any grid penalties because we don't need to. We still have those components in our pool, so yeah, we won't need to take any grid penalties this season for power unit components. But yeah, it's gonna take a significant chunk out of Q1, but we still have time to go around and set a lap time, which is good enough to get us into Q2. But it wasn't a great lap altogether, and yeah, there was not a lot of time in reserve. We were down in 11th position, so not a great start to the weekend. And it's also worth mentioning this could be the final time we ever race at the Sochi Autodrom. Obviously, with current events going on, and with a new circuit under construction in Russia as well. Whether that's still going ahead, I don't know. But either way, it could be the last time we race at this circuit. It also depends on whether the Sochi Autodrom is in the next game. I imagine it will be for the F2 cars. I think F2 went there last year, so yeah, maybe it will still be in the game. I guess we'll have to find out. But it's a shame because I do actually really like this track. It's one I've always enjoyed, although not so much in the last season. In Season 2 did not go so well for us there. But anyway, we're into Q3 while I've been rambling on about all that, so let's focus on the job at hand. And we've immediately made a mistake into the first real corner of the circuit, just running a little bit deep there, and it's going to probably cost us a little bit of time as we now head through turn 3, missing the apex of turn 4. So it's a scruffy lap already here in Q3, so that's no great start. We have 2 green sets of tyres left, so we should be able to do a second run at the end of the session if this lap is no good. This is sort of more of a banker lap, I suppose. But anyway, now we head into and through the final sector over the curb there, and we've damaged the floor, so
the underbody's taken some damage. I suggest we box so we can check it out.
We're not going to box though, because this may be the only lap we get. We won't have time to fix the car, so we might as well just work with what we've got over the line, and it's not a great time.
With qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Button, Perez, and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
And we are down in P8 for the Russian Grand Prix, only ahead of Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso in the Alpine, who managed to get through into Q3, so good effort from him. But yeah, no good. Jenson Button on pole position though, so he shows that the car has pace. But since we're so far down the order, we're going to take, well, it's not really a penalty, we're just starting from the back, which I guess is a penalty. So forget the last bit that I just said. But we're going to grab the rest of our new engine components for the MGU-H and the turbo, and chuck those on the car. And we'll start from the back and have a lot of fresh components. Let's get into the race.
Welcome along then to Sochi and the Russian Grand Prix, one of 8 cities in the world to play host to both the Olympics and a Formula 1 race. It's a Grand Prix that's proven difficult to crack for anyone beyond the first 2 rows of the grid in recent years, so let's see if that can change today. It's time to go racing then in the Sochi Autodrom, where the long run down to the heavy braking zone at turn 2 is one of 2 DRS zones around this 3.6 mile circuit. The other, of course, down into turn 13. 18 corners make up a lap here today, with an average speed somewhere in the region of 130 miles an hour. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Jenson Button yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ricciardo, Lewis Hamilton and Leclerc, Sainz, the scientist, Norris and Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Mazepin, George Russell and Gasly, Latifi, Matsushita, Lance Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi, Bottas, Joe, Mick Schumacher and Marino Sato. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
And here we are at the back of the grid. Clearly, Crofty wasn't told that we were starting from the back because he still had us up right near the top 10. But anyway, yeah, the strategy for us is going to be a two-stop, going from the soft tyres to 2 sets of medium compound tyres. The soft tyres can overheat around this circuit, and the tyre wear on those can be quite high, so yeah, we're going to go for that one. And now we get to the 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go for the Russian Grand Prix. Good launch off the line as we look to the middle of the track as we try and find ourselves a bit of space down towards turn 1, and we find a good gap on the right hand side. Everyone moving across though. Can we find our way to the left? Yes we can. We find a gap, brake late, and we'll gain another bunch of positions. Look at Russell, super late on the brakes from George Russell there, and he gains a bunch of places as we now have a look around the outside as they're very slow on the inside, and that's Russell going slowly. So it's Russell damaged his car there with that aggressive move. I think he may have. We'll have to have a look at a replay to see what happened down there at turn 2, but I think Russell has caused himself an issue there. Let's have a look on the replay and see what we can see as we have a good look through the drive through the middle there of the row in front of us, and yeah, we were hard on the right hand side, driver's right, and then yeah, Russell just went out of camera shot there. Did he make contact with his teammate? Latifi was right there, so maybe Russell hit his teammate down into turn 2. He really bogs down off the line. We're on board with Russell now. It was an absolutely dreadful start, and he's just getting swamped by the field. Bit of contact with the Aston Martin there at turn 1. He turned in, not realizing the Aston Martin was there, I think. Big dive up the inside, and makes contact with the back of the Alpine car. Very nearly makes contact with Latifi, but gets away with it. And Latifi lives to fight another day. So very lucky there for the Canadian. But yeah, you can see us just driving around the outside and completely missing the apex of the next corner, but nonetheless still pulling away from Russell. Matsushita off the line. You can see there how much better Latifi's start was as Matsushita goes through the middle, 4 wide, and yeah, that little misjudgment from Russell there, not realizing that the Aston Martin was down the inside, I think has caused Matsushita a bit of damage as well. Big dive up the inside of Latifi, and we've completely misjudged that one. And wow, that was
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
yeah, that was a bit of an awkward one. Should have been looking at the apex of the corner, but instead I was focusing on Latifi, and well, I guess that's a little bit of target fixation. But anyway, we continue to fight our way forwards. Big dive up the inside of Ocon, almost making contact there on the front left corner. In fact, we may have had a slight graze, but once again we get away with no damage. So there's a few lucky escapes for us on the first lap, but we've survived them all, and we come out in 11th position. So we've halved our grid slot on the first lap, so we have smashed our way through the field. A lot of that was done at the first corner, and now we're continuing to chop our way through as we have a look up the inside of Carlos Sainz.
You made it look easy.
and we get that job done. And next up is Nikita Mazepin, so we'll continue to push on, and he defends very early there. We go to the outside as we're both weaving all over the place down towards turn 2. The Russian at his home race will be hoping for a good result. Bit wayward on the overtake there, but nonetheless we get the job done, and now we close into the back of Lando Norris. Can we make a move here down the inside? No, Norris is going to hold on, and he's now behind Fernando Alonso. It's actually Alonso that we try and overtake next, and Norris has cleared off into distance. So in the intervening laps there, Norris has overtaken Alonso, and now we have done the same, and a little bit wide there on the exit, but we're all good. Alonso still having a look up the inside. We defend very late into the corner there and give ourselves an awkward line through the S-bend, but nonetheless we come out the other side in front of Fernando Alonso, and we're now up into 8th position with Lando Norris in front of us. So let's try again and see if we can chase down Lando this time.
14.6 seconds.
As we've already dropped 14.6 seconds away from our teammate, who is in the lead, by the way. Jenson Button is back out in front in this one, and he is looking very strong. Now we catch up to a big train of cars. I think both McLarens are in here, as well as Lewis Hamilton and I think Charles Leclerc in this train. So yeah, it's a big train, and we're going to see if we can jump a lot of them with an undercut here, because these tyres we're on are not in great shape, and a lot of them will be going longer. There's a couple of cars in that queue on medium tyres, so we're going to go for the undercut and stick our medium tyres on now, and we'll see what we can do in this phase of the race. Hopefully we can get an undercut, and we could jump our way up into potentially 4th position if we get ahead of a lot of them. So we'll see what we can do as we get back on circuit, and we've got Pierre Gasly in the upper tower in front of us, yet to make a stop. So yeah, we need to try and make our way past him as quickly as possible if we want a chance to make this undercut work. And we will get past Pierre Gasly along the straights, and that will be easy enough to get that one done, and we move ourselves up one spot into 12th position there. Now it's just about putting in the laps and just getting through each individual corner as nicely as possible, trying to maximize the tyre advantage that we have and to exercise the undercut. And a fastest lap is exactly what we need, as we go blazing around the first corner, and we do get past Lando Norris. He was at the tail end of that queue, and also on the soft tyres, but we get the job done and undercut him. So that gives me hope that we should be able to undercut the rest of them as well, as we overtook Esteban Ocon there, as we now set our sights on Nikita Mazepin as we go a bit wide there on the exit of turn.
Keep this up.
The entry of turn 3. That little left-hander doesn't really have a number associated with it. We'll call it turn 2.5, as we are now in the slipstream of Nikita Mazepin. Big dive up the inside of Nikita Mazepin into turn 2, and he bails out and lets us go there. That was a very aggressive move, but we got it done. And as everyone else has been making their stops, we found our way up into 5th, now 4th position. So like I said, we've got the undercut on all 4 of those runners that were ahead of us, and now we are looking very strong towards the mid-phase of this race.
They're on fresh mediums. We think they've got one more stop.
And that is Sergio Perez now in front of us, that we're now trying to chase down. And we've got pace on Sergio Perez. We've already gained a whole chunk of time as we head through this final sector. So we're looking good in this race, and very pacey. And now you can see to move on. We've got Perez just up the road, so we'll stay on board for a while and just see how much we catch him through each individual corner, and see how this goes as we head through turn 3 easily flat in F1 cars. A lot of fun in F2 cars, that corner. But anyway, we are having a fairly clean lap so far, a bit deep there, but you can see we're still gaining time. So I don't know if Perez has a problem of some kind, or if we are just that much faster at this phase of the race. He should have newer tyres than us, but for whatever reason, we are gaining massive amounts of time on Sergio Perez. You can see throughout this lap, we're just chipping away 10th by 10th, and we're closing quite rapidly as we now get the DRS open. I don't think we'll get close enough as we head into the final sector, but I think turn 2 will be a good opportunity in the slipstream still of Perez. Oh!
Are you okay? That was a big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
We're out. What happened there? Either I missed my braking point completely or Perez threw out the anchors way too early.
A great race then, and a fantastic win here in Sochi. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race.
Well, Jenson Button is back on top in Formula 1. What a result for Jenson Button. Second place goes to Max Verstappen with Sergio Perez managing to finish third.
Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Lance Stroll certainly put in an impressive performance today. No doubt his team and fans are extremely proud.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Alright then, let's see what happened here. We'll pay attention to where Sergio Perez brakes relative to us and see exactly what happened. Perez was early on the brakes there for sure. He was almost stopped. That's just bizarre. He was even still locked up into the corner. Oh, and then he accelerated again. That's a big hit. I don't know how Perez's car survived that incident. But anyway. But yeah, that... I'm sorry about the audio issue, but... I don't know. That's really frustrating. Just no time to react. I was not expecting him to be on the brakes there. That really caught me out. And, well, there you go. That's the end of the Russian Grand Prix, and again, it finishes early. Not even halfway through the race. And we're out.
Bad luck today. That must be incredibly disappointing. Is there a hint of jealousy in seeing your teammate up there on the podium? Or are you happy for them?
Of course I'm happy to see my teammate on the podium. It's more, good points for the team, and it definitely keeps the championship fight interesting. And he's well and truly in it now, so...
You lost to your teammate today. Was it just not your day?
It really wasn't. Starting from the back was always going to be tough. We got ourselves back in the fight for the podium, and it all went wrong.
Great. Well, that's everything.
It all went wrong. Great! That's a very sad screen. Let's not look at that one for too long. So yeah, we're losing to Lewis Hamilton in our rivalry just instantly there. Oh dear. We just cannot catch a break.
Team's income is looking very robust right now. It's time for you to have a think about our profit margin and what areas of the operation might benefit from that money.
At the Sochi Autodrom, it's just... it doesn't seem to go our way there. But as I briefly mentioned, it really has closed up the championship fight. We still lead the way, 14 points ahead of Verstappen, who is tied for second place with Jenson Button now, so he's moved himself up after that great result. And then fourth place is Sergio Perez, 21 points adrift. which will also be our margin in the team's championship, 21 points. So yeah, it is all very, very close at the front. It's really between the four of us now to fight for the title. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how the rest of the season plays out. We've got Japan, Suzuka coming up next, followed by Mexico, and then I think we end the season off in Brazil. So 3 of my favourite tracks coming up soon, so hopefully we can have some better luck there. But yeah, that's still just a really frustrating result overall. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Just no good. Meanwhile, there's Jensen Button, 100 stats all around. He's absolutely laughing.
The personnel department has requested your input on this one.
And to the point where, oh, we've got actually a department event I've never seen before. We've got Lucas Faber on offer as effectively a kind of driver coach, I guess, is what that's about. Unfortunately, because Jensen Button has maximum stats, we don't even have the option to accept even if we wanted to. So yeah, that's not really a decision. But that's cool. Nonetheless, to see that Lucas Weber has an appearance in my team, as well as, of course, in Breaking Point, he appears in a few little bits and pieces as well in the social media and the emails and stuff. But yeah, it's cool that they have brought back the old characters from F1 2019.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
But anyway, yeah, like I said, not really a decision, so we're just going to do nothing in that situation. But anyway, we continue now through the timeline towards the next event, and we get those 2 durability upgrades that failed previously.
Our new parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
And now we have a completely maxed out car. Aero department is all 100% complete. Here I am just checking through it for about the 50th time. But there you go. I think, I know this is the first time I've had a maxed out car on this channel. I mentioned it earlier in the previous video. I think there's the upgrades that we just got, but there's all the proof. We've got a completely maxed out car, with the exception of that one sneaky durability upgrade that we just can't get. But that's a department upgrade from Honda, not one from our side, so that doesn't really count. All the purchasable upgrades we have, so that's very cool. But anyway, yeah, maxed out car. We'll see what it can do next time. In terms of durability, I mean, it's not going to affect too much really, but anyway, yeah, other than that then, I don't think there's really too much else left to cover. So I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I really do appreciate it. Feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. It's always very helpful, but other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye. Now I have to make this video about another at least 5 minutes longer, so it doesn't look like the race is gonna end halfway through. Nope, I got nothing. Who knows if this is going to stay in the video or not. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. How are you enjoying the black screen? Like out of 5 stars, how would you rate this black screen? Is it a good black screen? Is it a bad black screen? Is it just black? How much longer should this go on for? Like a few more minutes. I built a Colosseum in Minecraft. That might be a video I make soon. You're still here? What are you doing? I've got nothing else interesting to say. The video's gonna end in like 25 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.